A man boarded a flight with one goal: ask as many questions to the person next to him as possible and talk about himself as little as possible. And so he did. The whole flight, the person next to him talked about themselves the whole time. And as the plane is landing, the man asked the person next to him to rate the conversation. And the person's feedback was, "You were the most interesting person I've ever met." Do you want to become the most interesting person someone has ever met without putting in a lot of effort? I sure do. Stick around, let's talk about it. Welcome back to Get Outside Today. My name is Dominic. This is episode 10. Shut up and listen. Ooh, I hope you are ready for this one. I hope this one stings just a little bit because it did when I was writing it, because I fall short in this as well. In this episode, we are digging in deep to what it takes to be a good listener. If you have been following along with my journey the last few episodes, you probably recognized in the last episode, episode 9 with my mom, that there wasn't a brick wall behind me anymore. I talked about God telling me, "Do you move? I move." Well, I have moved. That was just the first step of what God has for me. I'm excited to see what is coming next. Thank you for being along this journey with me. I don't know what's next, but we will learn and figure this out together. Listening, listening, listening. Just because you have ears doesn't mean you can listen. Proverbs 12:15, fools think their way is right, but the wise listen to others. I want to start off this episode by sharing a story about when I was in a group interview setting for a master's program, and there were 8 of us at a table with 2 observers. We were given a bunch of cards with people's profiles on them, their age, their race, their religion, their occupation, and so on. And we were tasked with narrowing down all these cards to just 10 people to start a new community with. The world had ended, we were starting fresh, we had to pick 10 profiles that we thought would be best to start a new community. So the timer starts, and a few people in the group start grabbing the cards, start reading their profiles, start sharing their opinion. The girl next to me kind of is the leader of the group and starts to take over. It was a little bit overwhelming at first. I was sitting there kind of freaking out, trying to observe, but how do I stand out in this group? I want to show that I'm a leader. I want to show that I'm confident. I didn't want to just sit back and let everyone else do the work. I wanted to be a part of the activity. I wanted to stand out for the 2 observers at the table. So as cards are shuffling, we're under this time pressure. I was only able to squeak my voice in just a couple times. We pick our 10 people, the timer stops, the activity stops. I sit back and I'm just like, man, I definitely feel like I just missed on this activity. I didn't get my voice in enough. I didn't stand out enough. I was bummed. So as we're closing the activity, we're putting the cards back. The main observer stands up and in front of the whole group, points and looks at me and says, "Even though you didn't speak up as much as the others, when you did, it meant something and people listened." And he walked away. And I was like, what? I thought I had missed on this activity. Sometimes the most powerful person in the room isn't the one standing, screaming, and shouting. It's the one who is observing and listening. In an article written by Jonathan Westover, he writes, "Listening is more than just hearing the words someone is saying, but rather impactful active listening is about understanding the context in which those words are being shared, along with other verbal and nonverbal communication cues, such as voice, inflection, tone, facial expressions, and body language. When we actively listen, we practice mindfulness, we are present with those around us, and we do not allow distractions to take away our focus on the most important thing in that moment: seeking understanding, showing compassion, and demonstrating empathy." In his bestseller, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey gives us 7 keys to success, and his number 6 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Listening. It's the first thing that we do in any relationship. A first date, meeting somebody new. The first thing you do is listen for their name. Granted, I usually forget it in the first 3 seconds, but I make sure that I don't leave that conversation without remembering your name. I want you to be known and I want to hear your story. You want intense relationships with people who listen, have follow-up questions, and remember what you said. So be that person. If you want to stick around in people's lives, you have to be better than just a good listener. You have to be an active listener. Earlier this year, I went to a concert to see my favorite band, Arizona. and a DJ opened for them called Open State. And he shared a story about his relationship with Arizona over the years. He said they'd always let him into the studio to listen, to learn, to chime in some advice here and there. They were like family to him because they listened and they believed in him. He said, even when my friends and family didn't believe in me, Arizona did. He said, if you're doing something creative right now and one person, just one person, is listening to you, is believing in you, keep them close and do not give up. I read a quote that said, find someone that will sit quietly with you when the world within you is loud. Be that person. Be that quiet person that is first to listen. This life is not about you, so shut up and listen. I don't know about you, but I just cannot stand when somebody interrupts or they're on their phone scrolling while you're trying to tell them something. I apologize if I've ever done that to you. Deeply sorry for that. We have lost our ways to have eye-to-eye communication, conversations. We lack in believing in others, hearing their story, following up with them. We are so consumed what is in our own head that we don't leave any space for anyone else. Okay, so how do we listen? How do we champion each other? Let's break it down and learn from the best. How did Jesus listen? I was doing some research to find examples on how Jesus listened, and I came upon an article that has an acrostic poem of the word listen and how listening was demonstrated by Jesus. L, love. Jesus listened without prejudice. I, inquire. Jesus often asked questions. S, stop. Jesus didn't let busyness stop him from listening. T, test. Jesus patiently drew out what was inside people. E, engage. Jesus stayed in the moment when he was ministering to people. And lastly, N, nudge. He nudged people around him to listen as well. Big or small, find people that will listen to your dreams and your desires. I even warn people, be careful what dreams and desires you share with me, because I will do my best to at least make sure that you get started. But I do get caught up in my own things, in my own dreams, in my own desires. But I'm really trying and learning to make space for others as well. The Legacy Keeper, a motivational speaker on social media, said, the person that challenges you to be uncomfortable is the person that loves you the most. But for years, we've been told that the person that loves us the most is the one that accepts us for who we are. How can I love you when I can see that you can do better and I don't push you? Do you want successful relationships? Ones that build each other up? Stop babbling by yourself and get out of your own head. Make space for others. Make space for silence. Silence is not a bad thing. Silence is the noise thinking makes. We have a family friend who's a very successful medical salesman, and he was giving me advice and tips on how to interview. He said, when you're answering a question, don't spit out the answer right away. Take a second to sit and think and process a good answer. Don't fill silence with nonsense because nobody wants to hear that. Listen, think, and give a thought out answer. I don't care where you're at in life. A student, working a normal job, a mother, a father, a celebrity, a CEO, you need to learn how to listen well. I'll leave you with this quote from excerpts of her story I write on Instagram. The best thing I ever decided to do was just be quiet. I have nothing to say. I'm not convincing anybody that I'm a great person, and I'm not trying to fix anything I didn't break. I'm not fighting for anyone to see my worth. Whatever you do is on you. You better hope you don't regret it. In my silence, I found peace. No longer bound by the need to prove myself or mend what wasn't mine to fix, I discovered a new kind of strength. It's a quiet strength, born from knowing my value, doesn't hinge on anyone else's recognition. I've let go of the exhausting pursuit of validation and embraced the serenity that comes with self-acceptance. The decision brought clarity. I could finally see that my worth has always been there, independent of others' opinions. Now, I move through life with a quiet confidence, unburdened by the need for external approval. Those who see my value and respect it are welcomed in my world. Those who don't can carry on their way. And if they come to regret their choices, that's their journey, not mine. In my silence, I've found my voice and it speaks volumes. Just because you have ears doesn't mean you can listen. So I hope you listened. I hope this episode hurt a little bit as it did me when I was writing it. I hope you realize that you can be a little bit better in this. You can be a better friend, a better sibling, a better spouse, a better coworker. Be the most interesting person someone has ever met just by listening and asking questions. You are worthy of finding people also in your life that listen to you and support you and your desires. So yes, it's important for you to be a good listener, but it's also so important to find people who will listen and champion you as well. You are so worth the 1% each and every day. Now, as every day, get outside today.